Hello friend, so glad you're here tonight. Get comfortable, pull the covers up, and let the day loosen its grip. There's nowhere else you need to be. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe and tap the like button on tonight's video. Both are free, they take 2 seconds, and they help this channel more than you'd think. And you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. Tonight, we are going to slow everything down and live a single ordinary day inside the Crusades. Not the legend, but the real day, built only from what history actually records. There is nothing to do and nothing to remember. If you drift off somewhere between morning and nightfall, that is exactly how this is meant to work. Settle in. Let your breathing slow down and let the day begin. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it, it should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. As the first light of day begins to illuminate your small, cramped quarters, you can feel the cold stone beneath your palate. Your hands, rough from years of labour, grip tightly to the woolen blanket that does little to keep out the chill. The smell of smoke and damp earth permeates the air, a reminder of the siege engines being prepared outside. Much of the early research has been dedicated to these very technologies, and as you rise, your back aches from the countless hours spent constructing and maintaining them. You make your way to the small window, looking out at the quiet camp below. The clanking of metal on metal can be heard in the distance, signalling the start of another day's work. Your breath fogs up the cold glass as you watch the sun slowly ascend, casting long shadows across the makeshift workshops and forges. You know that today will bring more of the same. The constant tinkering, adjusting, and refining of these siege engines, all in the name of progress. The heavy weight of the blanket draped over your shoulders feels like a chain, a constant reminder of the duty that binds you to this place. The wool is coarse against your skin, each fibre an echo of the days spent in the workshop, hands calloused and stained with sweat and grease. Your fingers, accustomed to the cold, still fumble for the tinderbox on the rough-hewn table beside your bed. The tiny sparks that fly when you strike flint against steel are a fleeting comfort, a momentary warmth before the day's labour begins anew. Your ears are filled with the sound of a distant bell, its toll echoing through the quiet streets of Clermont. The air is cool and crisp, carrying with it the faint scent of smoke from nearby fires. You make your way towards the Grand Council Hall, your footsteps echoing on the cobblestone paths. The doors to the hall are thrown open, revealing a sea of faces within. They have gathered here at the Pope's behest, their whispers filling the air as they await his words. A hush falls over the crowd as Urban II takes his place at the pulpit, his voice resonating through the chamber. "I urge you," he says, "to take up arms and embark on a holy journey to liberate Jerusalem." The numbers echo in your mind, 1095, the year that will change everything. Your heart begins to race as the gravity of his words settles within you. The chamber grows silent, save for the soft rustling of cloaks and the faint creaking of the hall's timber supports. A palpable tension builds in the air, like the first heavy drops of rain before a storm. Each breath feels heavier, every step seems to carry more weight as you contemplate the journey that lies ahead. The sunlight streaming through the stained glass windows casts long shadows that dance with each subtle movement. The scent of aged parchment and dust permeates the air, mingling with the lingering smoke. Each heartbeat resonates within your chest like a distant drum, as if mirroring the bell's earlier toll. The weight of countless eyes rests upon you, their gazes unseen yet tangible, creating an atmosphere that is both solemn and expectant. You find yourself in the heart of France, in the city of Clermont, on a crisp November morning in the year 1095. The sun begins to rise, casting long shadows across the cobblestone street as you make your way towards the Grand Cathedral. The air is filled with an earthy scent of damp leaves and the distant smell of smoke from the nearby fires. You join a growing crowd outside the church, the murmurs of anticipation rippling through the assembly like a gentle breeze. Today is no ordinary day. Today marks the Council of Clermont, where you will bear witness to decisions that will shape your world for generations to come. The bells toll slowly, signalling the start of the gathering as you take your place among the faithful. The cold stone walls of the cathedral seem to absorb the murmurs, creating a hush that settles over the crowd. A lone raven takes flight from the bell tower, its wings catching the first light of day as it soars above the silent throng. The heavy wooden doors of the church creak open slowly, revealing the dimly lit interior where candles flicker in anticipation of the day's events. A soft breeze picks up, carrying the faint scent of incense from within, hinting at the sacred rituals about to unfold. The candles cast elongated shadows on the high arched ceilings, their flames dancing lightly with each whisper of air from the slowly opening doors. The silence deepens as the crowd leans forward, straining to see within the sanctuary where the first flickers of light illuminate the intricate carvings adorning the stone pillars. A sense of awe settles over the gathering, palpable yet unspoken, as if the very air is charged with anticipation. The distant tolling of the bells resonates within the cathedral, each peal echoing through the cavernous space, heralding the dawn of this historic assembly. You wake in the town of Acre, captured by the Crusaders some 20 years past. Your hands brush against the coarse wool of your tunic, the same fabric that clothed those who first took this place. The air is thick with the scent of salt and the distant smoke from a nearby forge, where weapons are being crafted under watchful eyes. You step outside, the sun already warming the stones beneath your feet. Your neighbours greet you, their voices tinged with both relief and tension, for this town, like others, is held tightly in the grip of those who conquered. The market stalls are already being set up, vendors calling out wares that bear traces of distant lands, remnants of a world beyond these walls. Your morning duty begins, not with grand tasks, but with simple ones, sweeping the dust from your doorstep, ensuring the well is filled for the day's use. These acts are mundane yet necessary, for they maintain order in this fragile outpost of conquest. The broom's bristles scratch against the stone floor, leaving behind a thin layer of dust that clings to your skin. The well rope creaks under your grip as you lower the bucket into the cool darkness below, each splash echoing upwards. Your steps are deliberate, each one carrying the weight of routine as you navigate the narrow alleys, their shadows holding secrets known only to those who live here. The market's chatter grows louder, a steady hum that signals the day's true beginning, as baskets brimming with olives and figs are arranged alongside colourful spices, their scents mingling with the ever-present tang of salt. You awake to the sound of distant horns echoing through the encampment. The Third Crusade is underway, with 3 major rulers having joined forces: Richard the Lionheart, Philip II of France, and Holy Roman Emperor Frederick I, known as Barbarossa. Your hands, still heavy with sleep, begin to tend to your gear, each piece worn and familiar from countless days on the march. The air carries the scent of campfire smoke and the distant calls of birds, a reminder that life continues even amidst the clash of armies. You take a moment to kneel by your bedroll, offering a silent prayer for guidance and protection, a ritual that binds you to the shared purpose of this crusade. The morning's duties include inspecting your horse, its coat still glistening with dew, ensuring it is ready for another long day. Around you, soldiers stir, their voices low as they begin their own preparations, each movement deliberate and focused on the task at hand. The sun casts long shadows over the tents, a visual reminder of the vastness of this army, united under the banners of powerful leaders, marching towards a common goal. The leather of your saddle creaks gently as you lift it onto your horse's back, the coolness of the morning metal buckles sending a slight shiver up your spine. Your hands, now fully awake, tie down the bedroll with practiced ease, the rope still slightly damp from the night's dew. A faint rustling in the grass nearby catches your attention, but you pause only briefly, recognizing the sound of a small creature foraging for breakfast, much like yourself. The morning mist slowly begins to lift, revealing the outline of distant hills, their peaks still crowned with the remnant of night's darkness. You wake to the distant drumbeat, the rhythm signaling the morning's duties. Your hands, already rough from labor, reach for the simple garments laid out by your fellow non-combatant. The air is thick with the scent of wood smoke and the earthy smell of damp canvas. Today, like every other, you join tens of thousands of others in this vast encampment. Baggage handlers hoist heavy packs onto wagons, their grunts echoing through the early light. You see carpenters already at work, sawdust clinging to their clothes as they repair damaged supplies. Cooks tend to open fires, the sizzle of meat filling your nostrils. Priests move among the tents, their voices low and soothing in prayer. Your place is here, in this well-oiled machine, ensuring the army's needs are met. The sun casts long shadows across the tent city, a reminder of the day's pace ahead. The earth under your feet is firm and cool from the night, providing a steady foundation as you move through the camp. A gentle breeze carries the distant clang of metal, signaling the start of morning training for those who will fight. Your hands find familiar paths among the tools of your trade, each one worn smooth by use, ready to continue the rhythm of the day. The morning's dew clings to your skin, a momentary chill before the day's warmth sets in. You feel the familiar tug of the leather belt around your waist, securing your tools. The camp's activity hums beneath your feet, a constant thrum that keeps pace with your own movements. Each tent flap you pass reveals another piece of this vast puzzle, all interconnected and essential. You are part of the Prince's Crusade, setting off in August 1096. The sun is high overhead, casting long shadows on the dusty path beneath your feet. You can feel the heat radiating from the ground, warming the soles of your worn leather boots. Your hands grip the reins of your horse, guiding it along the crowded road. Around you, the air is filled with the scent of sweat and horses, mingling with the faint hint of distant campfires. The clatter of armor and the low murmur of voices in various languages create a steady background hum. You take a swig from your water pouch, the cool liquid momentarily refreshing against the parched heat of the day. The journey is long, but for now, you focus on each step, one at a time, as the crusade continues its slow march. The sun's unyielding glare causes your brow to dampen with sweat, which trickles down the side of your face and stings your eyes. Your horse's hooves kick up clouds of dust that hang in the air like a smoky haze, further obscuring your vision. The steady rhythm of the horse's gait creates a soothing vibration that travels through your body, helping to dull the fatigue that sets in with each passing hour. Despite the discomfort, there is a sense of camaraderie among the riders as you occasionally exchange glances or brief nods, silently acknowledging the shared hardship and purpose. The dust settles on your lips, leaving a gritty taste that makes you crave the next sip from your water pouch. The straps of your saddlebag dig into your shoulder, a reminder of the weight of your provisions and gear. Your horse's flanks are slick with sweat, which cools slightly in the breeze created by its movement. Each step forward brings you closer to the midday meal, where the smell of roasting meat will fill the air. You sit in the shade of a rough-hewn tent, the sun high above you. The air is thick with the smell of roasting meat and the distant clangor of metal on metal as knights train nearby. Your hands rest on your knees, calloused from years of work. You think about the recent conflicts, the First Crusade now a fading memory replaced by internal squabbles. The Crusaders struggle to maintain order, consolidating territories and fortifying their claims. In this moment, you can feel the tension in the air, a subtle undercurrent beneath the midday heat. You take a sip from your wooden cup, the water tepid and slightly bitter. Around you, other soldiers sit quietly, their faces etched with weariness and resolve. The day stretches out before you, a long expanse of uncertainty, tempered only by the comforting routine of meals and training. The sun beats down on the back of your neck, a steady pulse that matches your heartbeat. The smoke from the roasting meat stings your eyes and leaves a gritty film on your lips. Your leather belt creaks as you shift in your seat, the weight of your sword and dagger pulling at your hips. A distant hawk calls out, its cry echoing across the plains, underscoring the quiet anticipation that hangs over the camp. The canvas of the tent flaps softly in the breeze, casting dancing shadows on your face. You can hear the faint sizzle of fat dripping onto the coals beneath the spit, the aroma filling your nostrils and making your stomach rumble. The rough fabric of your tunic scratches against your skin as you lean back, your breath coming in slow, steady puffs. A slight chill runs down your spine, a fleeting reminder of the cool nights yet to come. You sit in the warm midday sun, your hands wrapping around a rough wooden bowl filled with coarse bread and thin stew. The Second Crusade has been underway since 1147, yet here you are, far from home, trying to recapture Edessa from Muslim control. Your eyes scan the makeshift camp, the air filled with the smoke of countless fires and the faint hum of distant battle preparations. The bread in your hands is hard and dry, a stark contrast to the comforts of home. You chew slowly. The stew's flavours a blend of unfamiliar spices, a reminder of the strange new world you inhabit. Your companions sit around you, each lost in their own thoughts, their faces etched with the same mix of determination and fear. This midday meal is more than just sustenance. It is a brief respite from the reality of your mission, a moment to draw strength before continuing onward. The sun's warmth on your back is a welcome companion, easing the tension in your shoulders. The bowl's rough edges dig gently into your palms, grounding you amidst the chaos. Each bite of bread requires effort, the hardness reminiscent of the arid landscape that surrounds you. As you swallow, the stew's heat lingers, a temporary shield against the chill of uncertainty. The steam from your stew rises in lazy spirals, mingling with the dust kicked up by your companion's boots. The rough fabric of your tunic brushes against your skin, a constant reminder of the day's heat and the night's chill to come. Each wooden spoonful of stew clings to the sides of the bowl, reluctant to part from its familiar surface. The distant echoes of hammering on armor plate serve as a somber accompaniment to your meal, each strike a silent countdown to the next encounter. You find yourself in the year 1204 during the Fourth Crusade, also known as the Constantinople Crusade. The sun is high overhead, its warmth on your skin a stark contrast to the chill of the night before. Your hands are busy with simple tasks, preparing the midday meal. They knead dough, the texture rough and earthy beneath your fingertips, as you listen to the distant hum of activity outside. The air is filled with the scent of baking bread, its comforting aroma wafting through the small room. Around you, others are engaged in similar tasks, their movements quiet and efficient. You pause for a moment, taking in the simple rhythm of this midday world, knowing that every action here is governed by necessity and tradition. The crusade has brought change, but the daily routines remain steadfast, anchoring you to this place and time. The stone walls retain the sun's heat, warming your back as you work. A cool draft from the open window gently brushes against your face, carrying with it faint whispers of conversation in the courtyard below. Your hands move deftly, their motions practiced and smooth from years of repetition, each press and fold instinctual. The sound of wooden utensils against earthenware fills the room, a soft melody that blends with the rustling of fabric as your companions go about their chores. The sunlight streaming through the window catches flecks of dough stuck to your fingers, highlighting their rough edges as you smooth out the mounds. Your knees press into the cool stone floor, grounding you with each knead, while the dust motes in the air dance gently around you, illuminated by the same sunlight. The rhythmic thud of a mortar and pestle against its bowl resonates from a nearby table, punctuating the quiet hum of your surroundings. A soft shadow cast by a nearby curtain sways slightly with the breeze, casting a gentle play of light and dark over the workspace. You wait to the distant hum of the village, the day's heat already beginning to rise. Your hands, rough from days of tending sheep, find their way to the wooden bowl in front of you. It holds a simple meal, bread and water, just enough to sustain. The air is filled with the smell of smoke from the nearby fires, a constant reminder of the life you lead here. Across the table, Stephen sits, his eyes reflecting the same sense of determination you feel. You both know that today is not an ordinary day. The children's crusade has begun. The rule is clear: follow the leaders, Nicholas and Stephen, into a journey they believe will bring peace to the Holy Land. As you take your first bite, the sun casts a warm glow over the makeshift camp, highlighting the faces of the children gathered around you. Each one shares the same sense of purpose, their eyes filled with hope rather than fear. The day stretches out before you, filled with promises of change and new beginnings. For now, though, your world is small, confined to this moment of simplicity and shared resolve. Your fingers trace the grains of the rough bread, feeling the day's warmth already baking into the crust. The water in your mouth is tepid, a reminder of the journey ahead and the need for conservation. The campfire's embers glow softly, casting long shadows that dance gently against the tent walls. The sheep outside bleat quietly, their wool coats heavy with the day's approaching heat. You wake in the 5th Crusade. It is 1217, and your hands stir, seeking bread. Outside, the air carries a faint scent of distant fires, a reminder of battles fought elsewhere. The day is warm, and you find yourself sitting under a makeshift shelter, the sun high above. Your fingers trace the rough edges of your tunic, a simple garment worn by many here. Around you, others are preparing for the midday meal, their voices low, echoing the rhythm of daily life in this far-off land. You take a sip of water from your canteen, feeling its coolness against your lips. The journey to recapture Jerusalem is long, and each day brings its own challenges and routines. Your gaze wanders over the landscape, seeing the distant silhouettes of tents and horses, a quiet reminder of the world you inhabit now. The breeze carries the distant murmur of livestock, their lowing a comforting constant amidst the bustle. A nearby fire crackles softly, sending up tendrils of smoke that twist lazily into the sky. The sunlight filters through the shelter's fabric, casting long shadows that dance gently on the ground. A faint scent of herbs and spices wafts over from the cooking area, hinting at the meal to come. Your fingers absently pick at the seams of your tunic, a habit formed from countless days on the road. The sound of grinding stones signals the preparation of meal in nearby camps, their rhythmic motion echoing through the air. The sun-warmed rocks beneath you hold the day's heat, radiating it steadily into your body. A lone bird calls out from a distant tree, its song briefly piercing the quiet hum of activity around you. You rise from the table, a remnant of your simple meal still clinging to your fingers. The midday sun filters through the narrow windows of this humble stone dwelling, casting long shadows that dance on the rough-hewn walls. Your hands, now free of food, trace the smooth lines of your tunic, ensuring each button is securely fastened, just as the Templar order demands. The scent of fresh bread lingers in the air, mingling with the faint hint of sweat from the day's labor. You step outside, the gravel beneath your feet crunching softly as you move towards the stables. The rule is clear, no deviation from the prescribed dress code. Every item you wear, every button fastened, is a silent pledge to the order's strict disciplines. As you walk, the warm breeze carries the faint smell of horses and hay, grounding you in this moment of midday. Your boots, worn but sturdy, absorb the uneven terrain with each deliberate step, offering a sense of familiarity amidst the day's routine. The sun's warmth on your back feels like an old friend's embrace, a comforting presence in the simplicity of your midday world. A nearby blacksmith's hammer strikes an anvil, its rhythmic beat serving as a subtle reminder of time's steady march. The stable door creaks open with a gentle tug, revealing the tranquil atmosphere within, where horses wait patiently, their gentle breaths visible in the cool air. The sunbeams slice through the stable's dusty air, illuminating tiny particles that dance and twirl like a private ballet. The leather saddle, worn smooth by countless rides, creaks softly as you adjust it on your horse's back. The bridle, cool against your palm, slips easily into place, the buckle snapping shut with a muted click. A soft nicker from your mount greets you, its warm breath tickling your outstretched hand, a simple gesture of trust in this midday world. You sit in the dimly lit chamber, the air thick with the scent of dried herbs and crushed leaves. Your hands carefully measure out the powdered willow bark, a common remedy for the frequent wounds that plague this era. A small bowl sits before you, its contents steaming gently as you stir the mixture, the woody fragrance filling the room. The medieval physician's wisdom is passed down through generations, each herb and root precisely measured by those who came before you. You pour the concoction into a simple cloth pouch, tying it securely with a thin strip of leather. This natural medicine will find its way to the injured, their wounds managed not by modern science, but by the careful hands of medieval healers relying on the power of nature's remedies. The herbs release their essence as you grind them between the stones, a tactile experience connecting you to those who once stood in your place. Each leaf and root is chosen for its specific property, their combinations guided by centuries of observation and trial. The pouch, warm from your touch, rests against your palm, ready to be carried out into the world. As you move through the quiet corridors, the scent lingers, a subtle reminder of the care that goes into each creation. The rough texture of the cloth pouch presses softly against your skin as you walk, a tangible link to those who once prepared similar remedies. Each step resonates with the rhythm of the mortar and pestle, echoing through the ancient stone walls. The dim light casts long shadows that dance gently on the floor, reflecting the subtle movements of your hands as they hold the pouch. A whisper of cool air brushes against your cheek, carrying with it a faint hint of the herbs, a fleeting reminder of their potent healing properties. You feel the sun's warmth on your face, the air crisp and cool with the hint of a coming spring. April of this year is 1096, you realise, the date echoing in your mind as you walk through the dusty streets of your village. The People's Crusade has begun, you hear whispered among the villagers, and there's an undercurrent of excitement mixed with fear. Your hands grasp the rough fabric of your tunic, a sense of unease settling in your stomach as you ponder what this might mean for you and your family. The smell of smoke from nearby fires fills your nostrils, the scent familiar, yet today it seems to carry an ominous tone. You pass by the village well, the water drawing you closer as if offering a moment of peace amidst the chaos of thoughts swirling in your mind. A child runs past you, laughing and carefree, oblivious to the larger world that is rapidly encroaching on this simple life. The cobblestones beneath your feet are worn smooth by time and use, each step echoing the weight of your thoughts. Your breath mist in the cool air, a visible reminder of the seasons shifting around you. The village market is quieter than usual, the bustle of trade replaced by hushed conversations among neighbours. You pause at the edge of the forest, the trees' bare branches stretching towards the sky like skeletal fingers reaching for a distant promise. The wind rustles the leaves of the bare trees, their whispering echoing your own thoughts. A lone bird calls out from its perch high above, its melancholic tune blending with the chill in the air. The forest floor is carpeted with dead leaves, their crunch beneath your feet, a stark contrast to the silence that surrounds you. A faint mist begins to form around your ankles as the sun dips lower, casting long shadows and creating a sense of stillness that seems to hold its breath. You wake to the distant sound of waves lapping against the shore, a reminder that you are no longer in your familiar homeland, but on the edge of the Adriatic Sea. The sun is still low, casting long shadows across the Venetian camp, where tents stretch out like a patchwork quilt under the clear sky. Your hands brush against the rough canvas as you step outside, feeling the morning chill. The air carries a mix of salt and smoke, hints of the cooking fires being kindled nearby. You hear the clanking of metal against metal, soldiers sharpening their swords for the day ahead. It is the year 1122, and you are part of something much larger than yourself. The Venetian Crusade has begun. The dew-kissed grass beneath your feet leaves a cool, damp sensation on the soles as you walk towards the communal fire. A faint breeze carries the scent of pine from the nearby forest, mingling with the ever-present tang of the sea. The rhythmic sound of leather stretching over wood echoes through the camp as soldiers lace their boots, readying themselves for the day's journey. As you approach the cook fire, the warmth from the flames begins to thaw your fingers, revealing the subtle glow of morning light. You notice the slight tremor in your hands as you reach for the wooden cup of water, a reminder that your body is still adjusting to the unfamiliar surroundings. The fire's warmth begins to soothe the tension in your neck and shoulders, loosening the grip of the previous night's chill. The sound of distant horns echoes faintly across the camp, signaling the start of another day's march, while nearby, a rooster crows in sync with the rising sun. You stand at the edge of your village, looking out over the rolling hills and the distant horizon. 8 major expeditions have marched across this land, each a mighty force with thousands of men, all bound by a single purpose: to recover Jerusalem and other Holy Land cities from Muslim control. The air is filled with the scent of distant campfires, remnants of the last crusade that passed through. Your hands clutch a worn parchment, the words on it echoing the rally cry that has brought so many to this land. This is not just your village, but a piece of a much larger world, one where the call to reclaim the Holy Land is ever present. The wind whispers through the tall grass, carrying with it the faint echoes of distant war cries. The earth beneath your feet is hard and dry, marked by countless footprints from those who have passed before you. Each step forward feels like a journey into history, as if the very ground remembers the battles fought and victories claimed. The sun dips low, casting long shadows that seem to stretch out towards the horizon, beckoning you onward. The worn leather of your boots creaks softly with each deliberate step, the sound muffled by the thick grass beneath. A faint glow emanates from the campfires in the distance, casting an ethereal light onto the undulating landscape. Your grip on the parchment tightens slightly as you feel a subtle shift in the breeze, bringing with it the faintest hint of smoke. The quiet rustle of leaves overhead blends seamlessly with the gentle hum of nature, seemingly unaffected by the echoes of conflict that have passed through. You sit in your humble dwelling, the sun slowly warming the earthen walls around you. Your hands are rough from work, but they know their task well, whether it be mending clothing or preparing food. Outside, the village is a buzz of activity, children playing and women tending to chores. The air is filled with the scent of fresh bread from the nearby bakery, a comforting aroma that has become familiar over time. You can hear the distant call of a merchant, his voice barely audible as he tries to sell his wares. This is your world, small yet comforting in its routine. The Crusades have ended, the 16th century now upon you. Papal authority has declined, leaving behind remnants of power struggles and religious fervour that once shaped your life. You feel a sense of relief, a quiet acceptance of the new order. Your thoughts turn to the simple pleasures of today, the warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of the bread you will soon enjoy. The wider world may have changed, but here in this moment, all is calm and peaceful. You hear the steady rhythm of your neighbour's loom, a comforting sound that blends with the gentle hum of daily life. The wind carries whispers of laughter from the children playing nearby, their joy infectious even at a distance. A soft breeze filters through the open window, carrying with it the scent of wildflowers from the nearby meadow. Your cat stretches lazily in the sunbeam streaming through the window, its purring a soothing melody to your day. The year is 1228, and the 6th Crusade has begun. You sit in your modest dwelling, the smell of fresh bread wafting through the air as you break off a piece with your calloused hands. The scent of smoke from distant fires mingles with the familiar aroma, a reminder of the world beyond your doorstep. The rule of Frederick II is spoken of in hushed tones, his name echoing through the countryside like a whispered promise of change. You step out into the daylight, the warmth of the sun on your face as you walk along the dusty path. Villagers pass by, their faces etched with worry and hope, mirroring the uncertainty of these times. The sound of children playing nearby is a fleeting moment of joy amidst the turmoil, a stark contrast to the distant clash of swords that occasionally interrupts the peaceful hum of daily life. You notice the tiny white flowers that have bloomed alongside the path, their petals quivering in the breeze. The wind carries a hint of salt from the distant sea, hinting at a wider world beyond your village. Your feet sink slightly into the soft earth with each step, the texture of the soil reminding you of the work ahead in the fields. The shadows cast by the tall trees provide moments of respite from the sun's warmth, creating a rhythm to your walk that matches the gentle swing of the nearby wind chimes. The sun's heat is softened by the canopy of leaves above, casting dappled light on your path. You hear the distant hum of bees at work in a nearby hive, their diligence uninterrupted by the world's tumult. The scent of wild herbs drifts from the roadside, blending with the smoke and bread to create a comforting blend that is uniquely yours. Each breath feels like a small victory, as if the very air carries a sense of resilience and endurance. You wake to the muffled sounds of horses outside your tent, a faint whiff of smoke from the cookfire lingering in the air. The sun is just beginning to rise over the encampment, casting long shadows across the dew-covered ground. You see King Louis IX himself, resplendent in his armour, preparing for the day ahead. The year is 248, and you are part of the 7th Crusade, launched by this very king. Your hands work swiftly, lacing up your leather boots, ready to face whatever challenges this new day may bring. The tent flap rustles softly as the cool breeze slips inside, carrying with it the distant murmur of soldiers stirring. Your fingers deftly fasten the buckles of your tunic, each click a reassuring echo of routine in this strange land. The morning light filters through the canvas, casting dancing patterns on the earth floor beneath you, as if nature herself is preparing for the day's journey. Your breath misses slightly in the chilled air as you button your cloak against the morning chill. The scent of damp canvas and distant pine trees fills your nostrils, grounding you in this unfamiliar territory. The sound of metal clanging softly from outside signals the commencement of the day's preparations, each clang a reminder of the armor that will soon be donned by countless men. A final glance around your tent reveals only the remnants of last night's campfire, now reduced to smouldering embers, casting an eerie glow on the empty space left behind. You sit on the edge of your cot, the sun's warmth seeping through the rough wool of your tunic. The air is filled with the scent of damp earth and the distant tang of salt from the sea. Your hands work diligently at mending a tear in your cloak, the familiar task grounding you amidst the day's anticipation. News has spread like wildfire through the camp. Whispers carry tales of a new crusade led by Louis IX himself. The year is 1270, and the air crackles with an undercurrent of excitement and resolve. You can hear the clatter of armor being readied nearby, the low hum of voices discussing strategies and routes. The wider world beckons, and your heart swells with a mixture of trepidation and determination. The rough fabric of your cloak feels coarse against your fingers as you pull the thread taut with each stitch. The distant roar of the sea serves as a reminder of the journey ahead, its rhythmic pulse echoing the beat of your heart. The sun's rays warm the back of your neck, casting long shadows that dance gently on the ground, while the campfire's smoke curls softly into the sky, mingling with the morning mist. The wool of your tunic rustles softly with each movement, a comforting sound that blends with the distant murmur of preparations. The salt in the air catches at the back of your throat, leaving a slight taste of brine that makes you crave water. Your hands, calloused from years of labor, find solace in the familiarity of the task, the cloak's fabric bearing the weight of your focus. As the sun climbs higher, its warmth deepens, bringing with it a sense of inevitability, as if nature itself is urging you forward. You feel the weight of a parchment in your hand, the Ninth Crusades initiation document, signed by Prince Edward of England in 1271-1272. The candlelight flickers, casting long shadows across the page as you trace the familiar names and numbers with your finger. The air is thick with the scent of aged parchment and beeswax, mingling with the faint hint of distant smoke from faraway battles. Your mind drifts to the wider world beyond these walls, where soldiers are being rallied under this very banner. You can almost hear the clatter of armor and the distant echo of marching feet, a subtle reminder of the responsibilities that come with such a document. The ink beneath your fingertip is faint but legible, the careful penmanship of a scribe long since turned to dust. Each crease and fold in the parchment tells a story of its own, bearing witness to time's relentless passage. The wax seal, now brittle with age, still clings tenuously to the document's edge, a silent sentinel guarding its secrets. A faint tremor runs through your hand as you feel the weight of history pressing down upon you, connecting you to those who once held this very same parchment. You can sense the parchment's fibers shifting beneath your touch, each movement a whisper of centuries past. The paper's edges are worn and delicate, like ancient lace, bearing witness to countless hands that have held it before. Each breath you take seems to rustle the document slightly, as if the very air carries whispers from long-forgotten conversations. A faint dusting of particles rises with each movement, tiny remnants of bygone eras clinging to your fingertips. You find yourself in a world where the structure of society is shifting, as if the very ground beneath your feet has become unstable. The 12th century has begun to creep into the 13th, and with it, changes in the air. You can smell it, a subtle shift in the scent of the marketplace, mingling with the aroma of fresh bread and livestock. Your hands, calloused from years of labor, feel the difference as you grasp the handles of your cart laden with goods to sell. The rules that once governed your life now seem fluid, like the river that flows through the heart of your town. The world outside your window is changing, and even the familiar chatter of the village seems different, echoing with whispers of a new order. The sun seems to hang lower in the sky than you remember, casting longer shadows that dance on the cobblestones underfoot. A slight breeze rustles through the leaves of the ancient oak by the village, carrying with it an unfamiliar chill that whispers of distant lands and far-off seas. The once familiar rhythm of the loom in your home has slowed, as if hesitating to weave the same patterns it always has, unsure of the design the world now requires. In the quiet evenings, the once comforting hum of the blacksmith's forge seems to echo with an uncertain edge, as if the very metal is questioning its own strength in this new era. The familiar creak of the mill wheel seems to groan with a sense of unease, as if the very wood is aware of the shifting times. The once steady drip from the leaky roof now echoes like a metronome, marking time's accelerated pace. A faint hint of smoke lingers in the air, not the comforting hearth kind, but something wild and untamed, portending change. The usual scent of the earth after rain now carries an undertone of something foreign, as if the very land is whispering secrets from afar. You find yourself in a dimly lit room, the soft glow of an oil lamp casting long shadows across the walls. Your hands brush against the rough parchment of a book, its pages filled with tales of the Crusades, their edges worn from countless readings. The scent of ancient ink and aged paper fills the air, carrying with it whispers of battles fought and lost, heroes born and fallen. You realize that this is not just any book, but part of an extensive library dedicated to the history of the Crusades, available for both home study and classroom use. The quietude around you seems to amplify the weight of these lessons, each page holding stories that have shaped the world in ways unimaginable. As your eyes trace the faded letters, you feel a profound sense of connection to those who came before, their struggles etched into the very fibers of this historical record. The oil lamp's flame flickers gently, casting dancing shadows that seem to bring the illustrations on the pages to life. Each turn of a brittle page sends a small cloud of dust into the air, carrying with it the faintest scent of time past. The silence is so profound that you can hear the faint rustle of parchment as your fingers move from one page to the next. The room's dim light seems to hold back time, preserving these stories for another generation to discover. The scent of the old parchment mingles with the faint smell of burning oil from the lamp, a comforting blend that seems to envelop you in a quiet haze. Your eyes strain slightly in the low light, but the focus it demands feels like a gentle embrace, drawing you deeper into the words on the page. The room's silence is so absolute that the soft creak of the leather-bound cover as you close the book sounds almost startlingly loud, like an echo from another era. You sit there for a moment, letting the atmosphere of the room settle around you, feeling the history seep into your very bones. You find yourself in the quiet encampment of Crusader HD, a sequel to Stronghold, released by Firefly Studios. Your hands work diligently with your fellow Crusaders, applying the military tactics that will profoundly impact the development of warfare techniques in the medieval period. The air is thick with the smell of smoke from the evening's dinner preparations, and you can hear the gentle clanking of armor as it's cleaned for tomorrow's historic battles. Your mind wanders to the strategic planning that will take place under the moonlit sky as the Crusades continue to shape the future of military strategy. The firelight flickers across the tent, casting long shadows that dance with each gust of wind. You feel the weight of your leather belt against your hip, a reassuring presence after a day of laborious training sessions. The sound of distant horses echoes through the camp, reminding you of the constant vigilance required to protect this temporary sanctuary. As twilight deepens, the chill in the air grows more pronounced, prompting you to wrap your cloak tighter around yourself. Your breath forms a cloud of mist with each exhale, the air growing colder as the sun dips lower. The wind picks up, rustling the leaves above and sending small tendrils of smoke from the fire into the night sky. The campfire's embers glow brighter against the deepening darkness, casting an amber hue over the faces of your companions. You can hear the faint buzzing of nocturnal creatures beginning to stir in the nearby woods. You stand at the city's edge, your hands gripping a rough wooden lever. The air is thick with dust and anticipation. As evening falls, you watch the mangonel's arm swing back, its weighted end loaded with a massive boulder. With a swift push from you and your teammates, the ancient siege weapon launches its projectile towards Antioch's walls, aiming to breach their defenses. The smoky haze of the day lingers, mingling with the scent of burned oil from earlier Greek fire attacks as you wait for the enemy's response. The rough hemp rope cuts into your palms as you hold tight, the leather of your gloves offering little protection from the coarse fibers. The mangonel's wooden frame creaks under the strain, each groan echoing through your bones as the tension builds. Your breaths come slow and deep, matching the rhythm of the lever's descent, the the scent of sweat mingling with the smoky air. In the distance, the city's defenders watch, their silhouettes barely visible against the darkening sky, waiting for the impact that will decide the night's fate. The lever's wood is splintered and worn from centuries of use, its grain visible under your fingers. The mangonel's counterweight, a heavy stone block, sways gently as it balances the machine's arm. A thin layer of dust coats everything, clinging to sweat and mixing with the grit already on your skin. The wind picks up slightly, carrying the faint sound of distant horns, their mournful call barely audible over the creaking of the mangonel. The moon is high over the camp, casting long shadows across your makeshift bed of leaves and blankets. It is the year 1107, and Bohemon's crusade has brought you here, to this temporary home under the stars. The air is cool and slightly damp, carrying with it the scent of distant fires and the faint hint of smoke from the day's battles. Your hands rest gently on your chest, the weight of your armor still lingering in your muscles. Around you, the sounds of the night are a soothing symphony, the hushed whispers of fellow soldiers, the distant hum of prayers, and the occasional rustle of leaves in the breeze. You close your eyes, drifting into a peaceful slumber, knowing that come morning, the day will begin again with the same rigorous routine. It is 107 after all, and the crusade continues. The moonlight filters through the canopy above, casting dancing patterns on your closed eyelids. The gentle sway of the branches lulls you further into sleep, their movement a quiet reassurance against the unpredictability of the world around you. Your breaths deepen and slow, the rhythmic sound blending with the natural harmony of the night. A soft breeze brushes against your cheek, carrying the faintest trace of nearby wildflowers, adding to the comforting sensation that envelops you. The ground beneath you is soft and yielding, cushioning each breath as it comes and goes. The hush of the night seems to wrap around you like a blanket, dampening any distant sounds. Your mind wanders through memories of home, the familiarity easing your body deeper into relaxation. The gentle rocking motion from the wind and the canopy above mimics a lullaby, singing you further into sleep's embrace. In the quiet of the night, you find solace in your rank within the Templars, one of 3 main ranks below the esteemed Grand Master. Your hands trace the emblem on your chest, a reminder of your place and duty. The air is thick with the scent of old parchment as you study the rulebook, its pages worn by time and use. You understand that every Templar must adhere to these guidelines, from the highest ranking official to the newest initiate. The candle beside you flickers gently, casting long shadows on the stone walls. Your mind wanders to the significance of your role, the weight of responsibility resting comfortably on your shoulders. You are part of a grand order, bound by duty and honor. As you drift off to sleep, the rustle of parchment pages serves as a lullaby, whispering tales of heroism and devotion that have defined this ancient brotherhood. The heavy silk of your tunic brushes against the cold stone floor as you shift slightly in your seat. The soft glow of the candlelight bathes your hands, cradling the book like a cherished artifact. Each breath is slow and steady, mirroring the rhythm of the pages turning beneath your touch. The air is quiet, save for the occasional crackle from the dying embers in the hearth. The leather binding of the rulebook creaks softly as you open it, revealing handwritten annotations from generations past. Your fingers trace the faint lines etched by countless hours of study, feeling a sense of connection to those who came before. The room is filled with a comforting silence, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. The heavy velvet curtains drape over the window, casting an ethereal glow on your surroundings. As night settles in, you feel the cool air against your skin, a welcome respite from the day's heat. Your hands, though calloused and rough from work, are steady as you light the oil lamp. The faint scent of smoke fills the air. You watch as the surgeon prepares his instruments, each one carefully cleaned with vinegar. He uses tweezers to pick up a thread, ready to stitch a wound closed. The room is quiet, except for the occasional snoring from the other soldiers recovering in their beds. You listen to the steady rhythm of the surgeon's breathing as he concentrates on his work, using surgical techniques learned during training. The night is long, but you find solace in the familiar routine and the knowledge that your fellow soldiers are receiving the best care possible. The lamp's glow casts long shadows across the surgeon's face, highlighting each precise movement of his hands. The vinegar's tang lingers in the air, mingling with the scent of smoke and the faint odour of blood. A distant owl hoots, punctuating the quiet, while the ticking clock echoes through the room like a slow heartbeat. The surgeon's hands, deft and practiced, move like clockwork through the dim light, guided by years of repetition. The oil lamp flickers softly, its warm glow a comforting shield against the darkness beyond the window. Each stitch is a silent promise, holding flesh together as if to whisper secrets only they understand. Beneath the thread's path, the patient's breath remains steady, trusting in the skill that has become second nature. And that is where we leave this day, the Crusades gone quiet at last, centuries away from here. The day will still be waiting whenever you return to it. Sleep well,